Most self-help advice is complete garbage. It sounds inspiring until you try to use it, and then it falls flat, leaving you frustrated and stuck in the same damn place. That's because it's built on wishful thinking, cliches, and half-truths, not the brutal realities of how your brain actually works. It tricks you into thinking change is easy, fast, or comfortable, none of which are true. Real transformation demands facing your darkest fears, unlearning lifelong lies, and doing the hard, ugly work nobody wants to talk about. If you're tired of spinning your wheels and swallowing empty slogans, here's the brutal truth. Self-help doesn't fail you because you're weak. It fails because it's designed to keep you comfortable in your misery. It sells hope, but hides the sweat and pain required for real growth. Want change? Stop chasing feel-good hacks and start embracing discomfort, discipline, and raw honesty. Anything less is just another lie keeping you chained. Self-help advice is often just surface-level noise. It hands out easy tips and tricks, affirmations, morning routines, quick mindset shifts that sound good but never address the root cause of your struggles. It's like slapping a Band-Aid on a broken leg and expecting to run a marathon. You end up distracted by all the noise, feeling busy but never actually moving forward. Most advice focuses on what you should do next. Think positive, visualize success, or repeat this mantra. But it rarely asks the hard questions about who you are underneath those habits and beliefs. Without confronting the deeper patterns and stories you tell yourself, change stays superficial and temporary. You patch symptoms but ignore the illness. The real problem is that self-help often avoids deep self-honesty. To break free, you must stare into the uncomfortable parts of yourself, the fears, insecurities, and lies you've built your identity on. That kind of introspection isn't glamorous or easy. It's brutal and messy, which is why most advice sidesteps it entirely. This avoidance keeps you stuck in a cycle of surface-level fixes. You get a burst of motivation, try something new, and when it fails, you blame yourself. You believe you're broken or weak rather than realizing the problem is the advice itself, quick solutions that never demand real internal work. This cycle of hope and disappointment drains your energy and willpower. True transformation requires going beyond the surface. It demands digging into your personal psychology, your fears, your triggers, your unresolved wounds, and working through them patiently. No shortcut can replace this hard work. Without it, you're just rearranging furniture on a sinking ship. So if you want real change, stop chasing the noise. Stop looking for easy fixes and start doing the difficult work of self-examination and growth. That's where the real breakthroughs happen. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's the only way out of the rut. Now you might have already heard phrases like, just do it. Push harder, find your why, and never quit. You've heard them so many times they've lost meaning. They sound empowering, but they're actually dangerous lies disguised as motivation. Motivation is not a reliable fuel. It's a fickle flame that burns bright one moment and vanishes the next. Relying on motivation alone sets you up for failure every time. The problem is simple. Motivation depends on feelings, and feelings are unstable. You wake up inspired and ready to conquer the world. Then life hits you with stress, setbacks, or exhaustion, and that motivation disappears overnight. When motivation fades, what's left? If you haven't built any habits or systems to carry you through, you collapse. This is why most people never sustain meaningful change. Self-help culture pretends motivation is a magic pill, as if wanting something hard enough will make it happen. That's a comforting lie because it avoids the ugly truth. Lasting change requires discipline, not just desire. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It means pushing through resistance, boredom, and frustration. Discipline is the muscle that keeps you going when motivation dies. It's the daily grind, the repetition, the commitment to action regardless of mood. But here's the kicker. Discipline doesn't come naturally to anyone. It's a skill you build with relentless effort and clear systems. Yet self-help rarely teaches this. Instead, it hands you slogans and tells you to stay motivated, which is like giving a car keys without teaching how to drive. Without discipline, motivation is meaningless, a spark that fizzles. You need to stop worshiping motivation and start training discipline. That means setting routines, creating accountability, and building habits that don't rely on feelings. It means showing up when you don't want to. This is the foundation for real, uncheckable progress. If you're waiting for motivation to carry you through, stop. Motivation will never be enough. Build discipline instead. Train your mind and body to act even when the flame dies. That's the difference between temporary bursts and permanent transformation. Self-help loves to sell the lone wolf fantasy, the idea that personal growth is a solo mission. Just you, your journal, and your morning routine against the world. It's seductive because it feeds the ego. I can do this all by myself. But it's a lie, a dangerous one. Humans are not built for isolation. You are wired biologically and psychologically for connection, feedback, and support. Growth without others is like lifting weights with no resistance. You might feel like you're doing something, but you're not getting stronger. Most self-help advice ignores this. It tells you to meditate, visualize, grind, and reflect, all in your own head, with your own voice, on your own timeline. But your mind isn't always a safe or reliable place. Without external challenge, it becomes an echo chamber. You reinforce your blind spots without even realizing it. Accountability matters. Feedback matters. Being seen and challenged by others pulls you out of your own bullshit. When no one's watching, it's easy to rationalize laziness, justify fear, or avoid uncomfortable truths. A real support system doesn't just cheer you on, it calls you out. It reflects the parts of yourself you're too close to see clearly. That's where real growth begins. Isolation also amplifies shame. When you struggle in silence, you assume you're the only one failing. That belief festers. But when you're connected to others, people who are also doing the work, you realize struggle is normal. You stop judging yourself and start using the collective strength of community to move forward. This isn't weakness, it's strategy. Self-help often promotes hyper-independence, as if needing support is a flaw. But the truth is, doing it all alone isn't strength, it's ego. Real power comes from knowing when to lean on others, when to seek challenge, and when to open up. We grow through relationship, with ourselves, yes, but also through tension, conflict, and vulnerability with others. So stop buying the myth of the self-made person. There is no such thing. Growth is not a solo climb, it's a supported journey. If you want to go far, stop isolating, build your team, get challenged, get exposed, and then grow stronger together. Self-help is obsessed with positivity. It sells you affirmations, gratitude journals, and high-vibe mantras, as if repeating, "I'm enough," will magically erase decades of internal damage. But here's the truth. You can't heal what you refuse to face. And most self-help skips the one step that actually matters, confronting your shadow. The parts of you you don't want to look at. The anger, jealousy, fear, shame, entitlement, self-loathing. That's where the real work is. You can't build real change on top of denial. If you've got deep wounds, toxic beliefs, buried resentment, and patterns rooted in fear, no amount of visualization is going to fix that. You need to dig. Shadow work means dragging those unconscious parts into the light and seeing them without filters or excuses. Not judging them, but owning them. It's ugly. It's painful. But it's the only way to stop being ruled by what's hidden. The reason most self-help avoids this, it's not marketable. People want comfort, not confrontation. They want a dopamine hit, not a mirror. But affirmations are meaningless if they're layered on top of suppressed trauma or unresolved inner conflict. Saying, "I am confident," while avoiding the insecurity gnawing at your core, is like painting over mold. It looks better, but the rot is still growing underneath. Shadow work is the difference between pretending you're healed and actually healing. It means admitting when you're the problem. It means looking at the ways you manipulate, project, self-sabotage, or blame others for what you refuse to change in yourself. It means holding your own bullshit accountable, not with shame, but with maturity. This is emotional adulthood, and it's non-negotiable if you want real transformation. Facing your shadow doesn't make you broken, it makes you whole. The goal isn't to destroy those parts of you. It's to understand them, integrate them, and stop letting them run your life from the background. Every time you suppress what's uncomfortable, you hand power to your unconscious. Every time you face it head on, you reclaim that power. So if your self-help practice avoids your darkness and only celebrates the light, it's not helping, it's hiding. Growth starts where the mask cracks. If you want true strength, stop running from your shadow. Turn toward it. Name it. Own it. That's where the transformation begins. Self-help is less about healing and more about selling hope. That's the brutal truth. The industry thrives on promises of fast results, instant confidence, and life-changing breakthroughs that are just one book, one course, or one morning routine away. This one habit changed my life. The secret they don't want you to know, it's a sales funnel, not a solution. And it works, not because it's effective, but because people are desperate. The result? You buy in with high expectations and get low results. You're told transformation is simple. Follow these 3 steps, repeat this mantra, cut out toxic people, and yet nothing really changes. You still feel stuck, still overwhelmed, still battling the same thoughts and behaviors. But instead of questioning the advice, you blame yourself. You think, I must be doing it wrong. I must not want it enough. That's how the cycle traps you. The real betrayal is that the system sets you up to fail, then convinces you it's your fault. It never admits the truth, that real change is slow, painful, non-linear, and often invisible for a while. The flashy advice skips over that. It promises transformation without trauma, growth without struggle, results without process. But that's not how human psychology works. Change doesn't come in a week. It comes from months, even years, of discomfort, discipline, and facing your deepest patterns. This overpromising creates a dangerous addiction to novelty. You bounce from book to podcast to retreat, chasing the next big breakthrough, thinking maybe this one will finally fix you. But that mindset keeps you passive, always consuming, never transforming. The truth is, there is no secret. There's only consistent, unglamorous work, the kind most self-help conveniently skips over because it doesn't sell. What you need isn't more inspiration, it's a plan. Tools rooted in real psychology, habits built over time, feedback, accountability, patience. You need to be told the truth, that transformation is ugly before it's beautiful, and hard before it's liberating. The industry won't say that because it doesn't convert into clicks, likes, or sales. But you need to hear it. So next time someone promises overnight success or a 5-step life fix, pause. Ask yourself, are they selling growth or just hope? Real help empowers you to do the hard work. The rest is noise designed to keep you spending, not evolving. Most self-help is like fast food for your psyche, quick, addictive, and ultimately hollow. It gives you a temporary high, a shot of hope, maybe even a small behavioral tweak. But it doesn't feed your soul. It doesn't challenge your core. And like junk food, it keeps you coming back for more while leaving you emptier, weaker, and more dependent on external answers than ever before. Real transformation is not sexy. It doesn't come with catchy slogans or shortcut hacks. It's slow. It's messy. It demands that you face parts of yourself you've spent years avoiding. It asks for consistency when you feel like quitting. It calls for brutal honesty, not just about your flaws, but about the lies you've told yourself to stay comfortable. If you want real change, stop chasing comfort. Stop expecting to be motivated all the time. Stop blaming yourself for advice that was never built to work in the first place. Instead, dig deep. Sit in discomfort. Question everything, especially your own bullshit. Then rebuild, brick by brick, with patience and fire. That's not popular, it won't trend, but it works. And if you're serious about growth, not just the idea of it, that's the only path that will take you there.